Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Half podcast, your weekly dose of all that happens in the sports half of the world. Today is a very, very, very special episode as we have our first ever guest on this podcast, guys. First ever guest.
So before we go towards the guest, I think I should jog everyone's memory a little bit and remind everyone that we all participated in the Commonwealth Games that happened in England roughly about a month ago, and India did pretty well.
Yeah, we did pretty well.
You all must have been wondering why we didn't cover much of that, because we had this in the works for a while now, and
we did a great job, and for the first time we won the gold medal in the lawn bowls event at Commonwealth Games. And in fact, now moving on to introducing our guest was in fact part of Commonwealth Games 2022's lawn ball contingent, and in the 2010 Delhi Commonwealth Games, she was the youngest lawn bowls player to take part in the games at the age of 16. She's a 3-time bronze medalist at the Asia Pacific Bowls Championship. Let's now move on to our guest. Hi Tania, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you here. In fact, when I reached out to you, you immediately said yes, and you had your own talking points as well. So thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, we're absolutely honored to have you here. And first of all, congratulations on representing India at the Commonwealth Games. How does that feel? How was your experience at the games, if you could tell us?
All right. First of all, thank you so much, and kudos to you guys for starting with this. And especially, I feel honored to be the first guest. And coming back to your question, I think representing the country, the feeling itself, no matter how many times you do so, it's always special. So this was my third Commonwealth Games. Many for the country, of course, but it's always very, very, very special. And to come out with flying colors, especially for the team and especially for the sport as such, I think it was a very, very special Commonwealth Games for the lawn bowls as well as India, I feel. So I think very, very, I don't know, what should I say? Like, I'm happy that I was a part of it, that I witnessed the history, and I think it'll be forever a great memory that I'll hold with myself throughout my life. Yeah.
many more to come.
Definitely many more to come. We'll be your biggest supporters now every time we take part in any event, for sure.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
So Tania, just curious, right? You in the lawn bowls squad, when the team was going through the pool and then the quarterfinals and then the semifinals, what was the feeling like throughout the lawn bowls contingent? What were you saying to the players? How are the players feeling? Any insight into that?
Okay, so one word, it was crazy. All right. So basically, this was the fourth time India was representing in the lawn bowls category, and the first time that we played was in 2010. That was the first time India had a lawn bowls team to represent in the CWG. So I think you might know the names by now. So the gold medalist team has two ladies, one Pinky and Rupa. So I, Pinky, and Rupa played triples in the first CWJ,
Oh,
and
okay.
we lost our bronze medal match by one shot. So that has been like a nightmare. It even nightmare is a tiny word to explain. Like, we could not sleep. We could not, that last bowl haunted us for I don't know how many years that followed. So next came the next Commonwealth Games 2014 Glasgow. The same team did not bowl because our coach changed and the ideas changed and the ideologies changed and everything. So we did not get an opportunity to represent India in the same combination. So there also, I think we lost by two shots in the quarters. I was playing a different event. Third was like I did not represent the third, but they did. They for sure did, and they again lost the medal. I think, in the quarters, or I think so it was like a do or die situation for us as a team, especially the ones that were representing for so long, and they are like the veterans. They played all the four Commonwealth games, right? So for them it was like a great challenge. That's what I would say. And I'm the youngest in the team, but
Yes.
Right.
they treat me equally, as in terms of the insights of the game, or who they are playing and the opponents and everything, because I have had quite many exposures, and even more than what they have had. So they are like, Tanya, kya karna hai? Kaise jeete? Kya kare? And all of that. So I feel, I have experienced what they were going through in terms of the event that they were playing. And once they were through to the quarters, I think, it was like, okay, abhi to bina medal ke nahi jana hai. We don't want to repeat what has happened back in 2010, 2014, 2018. So this is like too much. It's a trauma which
Correct.
people won't understand. People, like, they just understand what you have achieved. Like, after we won the gold medal, it was like, okay, India won. But what has, followed up for so many years is something that only we understand. So I think we are very, very emotional regarding the medal that the team has won. And it has, I believe, taken the sport from, as you'd say, like, people didn't even know what lawn bowls is.
That's true.
Now even,
Yeah.
like, the very general public is talking about, okay,
Absolutely.
we know lawn ball because they have won a medal in the CWG. So for us, it's a huge, huge achievement. Not just for the ones who have won the medal, but as a whole, as the lawn ball fraternity as a whole. So I think that's what it was. So crazy is the word that I would explain it. Super,
That's a
super.
very good
Yeah,
description.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You raise a very important point, about lawn balls getting the recognition that it deserves. And thanks to, of course, the gold medal, now there is recognition for the sport, right?
Yeah.
But you started lawn balls at a very young age. In fact, in the 2010 Commonwealth Games, you were the youngest, right? You were age 16, and I'm sure as a 16-year-old athlete, there is a lot of pressure, a lot of new environment. How was your experience in the 2010 Commonwealth Games? Was it easy? How did that go?
I don't know how to explain that. Just imagine you did not even appear for boards, and there
Right.
is this
Oof.
huge media from the state that you're representing, the country that you're representing, that's focusing entirely on you, to say, like, okay, she's the youngest, and we hope. And my coach, he was like the Australian coach, Mr. Richard Gill. He kind of made a statement that this team is going to win a medal. So he, like, so
So the
it was the
pressure was
first
already
time
on.
somewhere here.
Yeah.
So basically, as of today, like, this is my 15th year running in this, uh, sport that I've been pursuing for. But then it was like, to kind of come out there and represent my country in on such a huge platform, where all eyes are on you. There are newspapers writing about how much scores you're kind of winning, and how many scores you're losing to, what happened in the league matches, how did you bowl in the so and so end. Everything is been, that's the same thing that's happening even now. Like, even I did not have a glorious Commonwealth Games, to be frank with this one. Like, 2022 was not very something that I would be happy about, or like how it kind of unfolded. I had like different ideas about how the singles event would turn out to be, but it did not go in my favor. So even this time, there were ample videos, and there were newspapers, and they were, they have written things that, Tanya ko haar ka samna karna pada, and all of that. So you're already playing there, and
Yeah.
uh, and you hear things, or you read stuff about yourself while you're just out of the turf. You're still trying to, get hold of your emotions, and everything, but the news is already there. So if you talk about now, I'm way more composed and way more, I have had the experience of taking criticism, and even like if I win medals, if they can write good, so if I lose, they have the right to kind of speak anything. So now I understand that because I have attained a bit of experience and maturity. But back then, 2010, I think our team kind of cried after we lost that with that one shot, and that was like crazy news going on, and it was kind of, I don't know, like so many mixed feelings, like whether I was embarrassed, whether I was sad, whether it was difficult for me to face people, or was it like overwhelming, not very sure. So it was kind of for somebody who was in class 10. I think it was too much for that little
Yeah, I
child.
can imagine. I think when we were 16, we were shit scared of board exams and all, and you've gone and
Yeah.
represent the country. I can totally imagine, like, and it's great, like how you get back from all the setbacks. I think as an athlete, that's very very important that you don't lose hope, and especially as a young
Yeah.
athlete, it's great that you haven't lost hope after that first stint as a 16-year-old, and you're continue to do this 15 years down the line, and hopefully you will do it for 30 more years.
I really hope so. I really hope so. Yeah.
We got to how you represented India as a 16-year-old in a
Yeah.
sport where I have usually seen players who are much older participate. How did you first get into it, and how did it all play out for you to represent India at such a very young age? Is it a
You
sport
know,
that you saw and you fell in love with the sport and you wanted to participate in it, or is it something
something like that. Something like that. So basically, I was in class 7. It was 2007. The national games was organized by my own state, Assam. So what happened is like 2010 Commonwealth Games के बारे में सबको पता है. Delhi 2010 Commonwealth Games. So I'll give you a slight insight about what lawn ball actually is. It is one of the core sport of CWG. So anywhere you conduct CWG, you will have to conduct lawn balls. Okay. So India till then had no idea as of what lawn bowls is, right? So another insight that India had lawn bowls for the last 200 years, and they kept the sport very coveted and very among the royals of there's this one single turf, and that's in West Bengal, Kolkata Royal Golf Club, and this bowling green is 200 years old, and only the members would play that sport, and they've got like crazy rules up there, like what shoes to wear, who is supposed to enter, and everything. It's quite huge and quite royal. They kept it very much confined to themselves. They kind of so what happened is like abhi 2010 May, if you have to conduct lawn bowls in India, you have to first nationalize it, right? For you to even have a team. So that happened in 2007 ka National Games. That was held in Guwahati. And I am from Guwahati. And I went to just, witness the sport, like as a whole the games. So my father, he's a sports organizer, so he told me like, I think you should come and see this new sport I have never heard of, I have never seen. It's very interesting, you should try it.
Oh
So
wow.
I am like a sports enthusiast. So even in school, I'm like all into swimming and like basketball. Pick any sport, Tanya will be there. Greenhouse, red house, yellow house, like we used to have
Yeah.
everywhere. I'm there. Okay, so it's even if it's kho kabaddi, you will find Tanya Chaudhury in the team. So I'm this huge sport enthusiast, and then I said like, "Chalo, Papa, ठीक है, let's go and try it out." So when I watched it, I swear to you, it was like so brand new, and I'm like, "ये क्या है? What is this? करना क्या है इसमें?" Like how you
Yeah.
feel watching the game now, that's what I felt back in 2007. So, but then I started bowling. And I was like, okay, let's give it a try. Like after the games were over, I went to the turf and I was like, okay, I enrolled myself. And there was a coach back then, a national coach. So he was there just to teach. There was a nursery camp, and I got there, and I'm like, okay, this is how you roll. This is the basics of the game and everything. So I learned, and it just happened organically. ऐसा कुछ मतलब planning नहीं है कि I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll achieve this and achieve that. But it was like, okay, let me try the sport.
Did you have anyone of your similar age group when you started off, or were you always with the older ones?
No, no, there were ample people. Like I was too young, of course, but I think I remember people 2, 3 years elder to me also kind of enrolling themselves just to learn the sport. But I think they did not pursue it further. Or even if they did, I think they were not able to compete on a national level to sustain in the team. I think that's what happened. But because there was this infrastructure available in Guwahati, we had the set of bowls, we had this turf, everything was there. But I think it was more about the sustaining into the competitive nature of the game, right? And to be frank, we did not have so many players also, but the rest of the players like Rupa Di, as I said, Pinky Di, these people are like my roommates for years now, like 12,
Nice.
13 years and everything. So they represented in the national games, that 2007 itself. So they have had this exposure tabi. So, huh. So I think that was an edge. And no, so basically, so I could just make a mark a little bit like, okay, if this is a team of five, I need to kind of up my game and everything. So I've had this exposure and I kind of got along. I think that's what happened. Yeah.
So, we spoke about how you got into the sport, your experiences in Commonwealth Games. Now, I'm a little curious to know what kind of, how do you see yourself in the sport, right? So the other day I was reading this ESPN article that was talking about the lawn ball squad. And they very clearly said this Indian squad, lawn balls, is full of veterans like Tania, Rupadi, Pinkidi, right?
Yeah.
So you're a veteran at 27 in a sport that that has legends who are aged close to 40, 50 even, right?
Yeah.
So what do you look at? What are you looking at in the long term? Like, what are your ambitions?
Okay, I'll tell you about this. Especially in lawn balls, you cannot be this master of this game. That's not going to happen for you. That's not going to happen for like the diggaj that we have in the sport. Be it from Australia, be it from Scotland, be it like there are huge names. There's like Joe Edwards. There'll be like Karen Murphy. There'll be like there are names in the bowling fraternity that we look up to. I'm like, okay, we need to be like them. Even they would fail in a day like such. Okay, this is one sport where you cannot guarantee, okay, you know, इनसे तो हो ही जाएगा. There's like one person like City Zalina who's probably in her late 30s or 40s. She must have been seeing her since 19. Like I've heard about her winning medals since 1993 or 1990.
Wow.
I was not even born back then, and I saw her playing in this Commonwealth Games as well, in the singles even, and she won a bronze medal even this time, right? So that did not happen overnight. Even she have had like, she have been bowling for such a long time. Joe Edwards, who's probably in her late 40s or 50s, retired just a couple of days back. So if you ask me, who's just into the game, who have had the opportunity to enter the game at a very early age, I think it is just a bonus. But I think I do have the age to kind of, if they can do it,
Right.
then I think I'm
Absolutely.
just a baby in this.
Yeah.
I'm just a baby. They look at me like a baby. They still treat me like a baby. They're like, even in the Asia Pacific, like I'll tell you, India in the world map is still yet to make a mark.
Right.
And that started in the 2019 Asia Pacific that happened in Gold Coast, Australia. So we never saw India winning a medal on an individual event ever in the history on that level. Like in Asian and everything, you will still find, like, I have won Asian individuals medal in the past, but in that world level where we compete with countries like Australia, New Zealand, and, like, the top ones, the England, like anything, South Africa, everything, right? So when you compete with these and you kind of make a mark, that was the first time, and I was fortunate enough to kind of do that for my country. So in the Commonwealth Games, what happened is we won a women's force medal back in. We started winning women's force medal back in 2009, and it took us how many years? You can, like, 10, 12 years to kind of finally win a women's force medal in CWJ, right? So in women's singles, that started back in 2019. So it will still take India time to kind of make a mark on an individual event in
So
the.
Tanya, if I have to kind of put your answer down about your ambition, you're saying 2028, 26, 2030. So gold medal incoming in 2030 Commonwealth
You
Games.
never know, right? You never know. It may not be Tania Choudhury at all. It can be someone else doing it. Or it can be me in the next couple of years itself. It may not take 10, 12 years. So you don't know exactly when the. So in a sporting career, you cannot assure कि अभी ये हो जाएगा, अभी वो हो जाएगा. If someone has achieved something back in 2018, I won't name any, name as such, but huge achievements, like huge achievements in 2018, they may not perform the same in the upcoming, and that has happened, right? And same goes, like, you would not find any major achievements as such in the career, but suddenly they would, like, give you this huge medal at a very large platform. So that's what usually happens in the sport. So what if you ask me, I think, as I said, I'm still a baby in the sport. I plan to continue to bowl, right? This is one sport that has let me pursue my studies, have an alternate career, also bowl, also do things for the country, also achieve medals, and we as a whole, not just me alone, but we as a team as a whole have been trying our best to kind of take lawn balls to a different level, or kind of make a mark. Or this was the first time, at least, the Indian people, even our prime minister, knew about the sport. I think it's a huge achievement. I hope the next event comes out with, like, okay, India ने last time एक medal लिया है, चलो इस बार वो लोग तीन लेंगे. So something like that. So it's like a step by step process. Yeah.
Very
So we
inspiring
plan
story,
to
though.
do that.
Very
Yeah, we
inspiring.
plan to do that.
Did the Prime Minister Narendra Modi have any words of advice or wisdom to share with you when you met him?
Okay, so what happened is, like, he did speak to one of our gold medalists. Lovely. Yeah. So as you can see, like, the ones who have won the medal, as you said, like, they are of much, and they're like much elder to me, right? So the story that came out to the world, or even to the prime minister as such, is like, ऐसे एज में भी अगर आप ऐसा कर सकते हो,
Right.
तो ये हमारे लिए बहुत इंस्पायरिंग है, like, that's what he meant, like, because we did take time to kind of achieve something huge, and they are of a certain age, no doubt about that. So but to achieve something, so for I think the prime minister, it was more like, आप लोग ने ऐसा कर दिया है, वो हमारे लिए.
Yeah. I think he was
Yeah,
as
so
excited as anyone else who was watching, and as
Yeah.
surprised, if I can say that, that
Yeah.
even he must have seen that, okay, this actually, there's an event with such,
Yeah.
such kind of a game, such kind of people taking part, and it would have
Yeah.
been, I think it's so inspiring for everyone.
Absolutely.
So I think the one thing that I experienced out, or the one thing that I would take back from the conversation or the speech that our honorable prime minister gave after we returned, is that the one who have won has definitely made us proud. There's a strength of, I don't know, 250 something that went by, and there were a couple who won medals for you, right? And there are ample others who are there with huge, huge history. There are names like, Joshna Chinnappa, that, she is a squash player, right? There are different other sports like Hima Das. You can see, if you know Hima Das, yeah. So she's an excellent athlete, right? But she could not do it. Lovelina from my state, it says she's a boxer. She won an Olympic medal, but she kind of could not do it. Like, so, it was kind of very, very inspiring for us, or the ones who missed out on a medal, saying that it's don't be disheartened. There are other events upcoming. Continue with the prep, and we are absolutely proud. And I, as the Prime Minister, will always back you. The sports people, and just don't worry, just go ahead, play, don't worry about it, don't
That's
worry what
great.
the media says, don't worry what the people say, you know just go ahead with it. So when the Prime Minister kind of gives you that validation key, sab theek hai, then it's sab theek hai. That's what I feel. Yeah.
You talk about support, and just curious to know, Tanya, your support
Yeah.
system, right? You at the age of 16, when you're playing in the center stage, Commonwealth Games, you need support systems. So who was your
Yeah.
support? Who has always been your support system?
Very obvious answer, my parents. Very obvious answer. But you know these two, my mom and dad, I'm sure parents usually to their children are great anyway, right? But what I have seen, them doing for me, not just being there, standing there emotionally, if they were not just emotionally present, like they have invested not just time but money. Let me just emphasis on money. So this sport might look like, ये क्या है, इसमें क्या ही है, क्या ही करना है type. We have
Yeah.
heard such things
Yeah.
before. But it's an expensive sport. The turf itself cost a lot. You cannot just, bowl anywhere. It like cost a crore or something. And the gear that we kind of use, it one single set would cost you, if we kind of procure from abroad itself, it would cost you around 30. But यहाँ पे इंडिया में manufacture नहीं है. So if we kind of order in all of that, it costs us around 50,000, right? So it's not kind of something that you can afford that easily for like the. And most importantly, we keep on changing our gears depending upon what turf we are playing.
Okay.
Yeah. And if I could just mention that, while I was having this sporting career of this 15 years, I was also studying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, boards, 12th, engineering, MBA,
MBA.
like
Yeah.
सब कुछ हो रहा है साथ साथ. Like my mom, apparently she's the principal of a college, and my dad is a sports organizer.
Wow.
So if I have these two careers going parallelly, that is because they are standing behind me, and both of them are like, नहीं नहीं sport नहीं छोड़ना है, एक बोलता है studies नहीं छोड़ना है. So like you have to, and I'm the only child, and I have to listen to both of them. So I cannot even push the responsibilities to someone else as such. So the thing is, now you can imagine there have been ample times that मेरा BEE lab का dates या फिर classes have clashed with my camp. So my camp is in Kolkata, and my BEE teacher, like the electrical, like I'm a civil engineer, but we had this second semester, maybe we
Yeah.
had this
All the subjects.
labs and everything. Huh. So the professor was like, no, Tanya, you cannot miss. You miss, back laga देंगे.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Typical.
And if you check all our sporting areas like stadiums or coaching places, we usually are shut on Mondays because like it's a repair day. Sundays we don't close, Mondays. So coincidentally, I had my labs also on Monday. So what happened is I had to fly from Kolkata on Sunday night, come to Guwahati, do my classes, get the labs done. After that, my mom and dad would wait outside the classes, and they would take me directly to the airport. And then, I would fly back to Kolkata, and next morning I'm there for the camp. So there were 10 labs, and I remember clearly I took, 20 flights.
Oh my
Up and down.
goodness.
And those are not something that the government would pay for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right? Those are your personal expenses. I'm just giving you one example.
Yeah.
So when people talk about parents being there for you, they are supporting you with your the goals that you have or the profession that you pursue. 100%, all parents do that. But the money that
Yeah.
my mom and dad have been privileged, definitely privileged to have been born in a family like this, where my mom and dad could do it for me, right? But it's equally tough, and I think it's equally sacrificing for both of them, and I cannot you know thank them enough. So whatever I have achieved, whatever I am today, I think it's all to them. Yeah.
That's great, and that's a really sweet story. I think. I mean, like, with for in a country like India, I think where sports is not given as much importance. I think the role of parents is the most important in every
Yeah.
athlete's career. I don't think you can come up without that kind of a support. Where in India, you're always meant to study, 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 and
Yeah.
and like
I
I
was
think.
also meant to do that. I
Yeah,
was also
exactly.
meant to do that. Yeah, but
I think the
yes,
only
I
thing you
think
haven't done is sit in a IT office and work on a laptop. I think after doing engineering and MBA and all that, so it's a great
yeah, I
side
was
thing.
almost on the verge of doing that. I got placed in Unilever at Unilever, and then I was kind of supposed to join. But then I kind of got into PWT. Right. So I got into peace. So parents only made the decision, ki, if you want to continue bowling or if you want to be on the sport, there's no point going in the corporate sector because you won't be getting any leaves for that. And I think that was
Yeah,
very logical. Had I joined Unilever, I think I should have, I think I must have what do you call resigned by now. They wouldn't have let me gone for the camp for this
absolutely.
long period. It is only because I have joined a government service that the government understands the value of what representing the country is. So huge support. So yeah.
So, Tanya, how would you encourage young athletes? Like we spoke about, managing your practice and your camps with along with your sports, along with your
School
academic
studies.
duties. So, how would you like? What would your word of advice be to young athletes just starting off?
Especially to get into lawn bowls.
Yeah.
And in fact, thanks to the gold that India got, I'm sure
Yeah.
there are a lot of new athletes who want to get into the sport, and they're looking at you, looking at Rupa Di, Pinky Di, and so what kind of advice do you have for them?
First, I would like to mention that we did win a gold, but we also won a silver by the men's
Yes.
force.
Men's team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
think they also deserve a due respect, at least,
Absolutely.
amazing,
Absolutely.
amazing effort. Amazing effort. Okay, coming back to your question. Um, so back when we started, like especially when I started, we did not have key, if I win this so and so medal, I am going to get so and so as a reward, be it a job, be it monetary benefits, be it scholarships. So that did not happen. One more thing that I need to emphasize is that we do have sports quotas in colleges, right? We do have कि क्रिकेट का इतना रणजी खेला है, स्विमिंग का नेशनल्स किया है, तो ये now the problem is lawn ball was not even there. I think it's still like it's not a recognized sport in the colleges where they would kind of think like okay sports quota में इसको यहाँ पे मिल जाएगा, वो
Right.
नहीं था.
Huh.
So that perks did not stay. But very recently, like we have this upcoming event, national games, that is going to happen in Gujarat, September end, 28. You can, definitely look for that. That's another event that's coming up. You would see like, so over there, my chief minister kind of announced that everyone representing the state who will be winning medals for Assam will be given a job directly
Oh wow. Okay.
based on based on their academic qualification. Based on their academic qualification. So if you win a medal for the state now as of today, it guarantees you a government job. So that is for my state alone. Okay, so if I have to kind of, since I am from Assam, I have been representing Assam for the last 15 years. I would say, like, if you're from my state, and I would say to just go for it. If you have the age, if you have the age, you have the infrastructure, you have coaches, you have experienced players who can guide you through, right? There are YouTube videos, you can go abroad, get exposure. There are already people who have showed you or guided you. You know the paths to be followed, and you know what's there for you if you kind of have an achievement, even on the national level. Think about what you can do on the international level. So I think these are like boosters that kind of encourages people to join. And if Assam can do it, I think there are other states as well. You know Haryana.
Yeah.
They support sports people like crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There are other states also who are coming up to support, not just lawn bowls, but sport in general. Sports person in general. So I
Correct.
think this is a great time. If you have the
Absolutely.
age, if you're like in your school, pick any sport you like. Pick any sport you like. Just that, be good at it. Don't be average.
Yeah.
Be good at it. Yeah, just be good at it. Achieve for the state, achieve for the country. And I think today though you can make a living out of it. Yeah,
That's
that did
great.
not happen. Yeah, that did not happen back in my day, so I kind of studied really hard to get a job and
Yeah.
everything. So if anything happens over this is just a bonus. But for people who are starting now, I think it is, you can definitely, this is the time where you can consider sport to be a profession, to be your bread and butter. So I think that's the most I can say about how the sporting scenario is going as of in the country.
And I hear a lot of optimism in your voice as well, because I 2010 Commonwealth Games were not the best organized Commonwealth Games. So coming from there, I hear a lot of optimism in your voice. So which is great, I think, for Indian sport
Yeah.
and Indian sports persons.
Yeah, I like, I'll tell you one thing. Like 2010 had a lot of things like people have read, how the games have gone. There were, a lot of news. Let me not go into that, but the organizing committee of that, even today, the people who have gone to 2010 CWG, and after that they have gone to 2014 in Australia, and they have gone to UK. We still probably are in top 3. India did amazing in terms of organizing the sport, in terms of giving that great experience to the people who have represented their countries, who have come along to kind of, compete in the games and everything. So I think they have a very fond memory of how India conducted it and how much they enjoyed the facilities that they have had. So if I compare of what I experienced in 2010 and what I experienced in Birmingham, huge difference. Birmingham is nothing in front of India. So I'm not saying this because I'm an Indian myself, but because you can pick in any sport person, any sports, like, and they would say the same. They would validate this statement. So India did amazing in terms of organizing the CWG. Of course, there had been, you know, news, and there have been things about how let me not go there. Let me not even say the word. Yeah, yeah. But yes,
But that's a
India is
very encouraging sign. I mean, you wouldn't imagine, you would, as a general viewer, you would think that, oh, Bahar Desh mein it'll be so much better, all that,
better,
like they'll have
but
much
hai
better.
nahi.
So it's very encouraging to listen
Yeah.
to that. Yeah,
India is far above many countries. I'll tell you this. The reality is we might be a little ki idhar ganda hai, udhar ye kar diya, wo kar diya, but we are much better. I'm telling you, not because I'm a true nationalist or something. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Just comparing, my experiences and everything. So I think India was great in 2010.
I mean, you'd be the perfect judge rather than
Yeah.
us telling it. So it's much better when it comes out from athletes like you to say that, yeah, we have got a great infrastructure in India, and if people want to get in, they put in the effort, and you will get the laurels that you deserve. So
Yeah,
that's a very
definitely.
inspiring thing.
Definitely.
I think we have come to about 40 minutes, but before we close this,
Yeah.
we want to just have a quick rapid fire just to lighten
Yes.
things up with you.
Yeah. What
Just
about serious
probably
fun
15
again?
20 seconds. Yeah, a
Just
lot of
for
serious
some
talks.
fun.
Just some fun,
Yeah.
and then we can close.
Okay, let's do this.
So we start.
Yeah.
Question 1. What is your favorite cheat meal?
I think pasta, mixed sauce, chicken pasta. I mean that's yeah.
Okay. Your favorite sport to play apart from lawn bowling?
Swimming. Love it. I'm a water baby. Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay. So then I think I should ask you this. Do you cannonball into the pool or dip your toe first?
I dive into it. I think that's what I like.
Very well said. Beaches or mountains?
Beaches, any day.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs. Not an animal person as such, but I'd still like dogs. Yeah.
One advice you would give to your 10-year-old self?
Not to stress about things so much. You know, people are gonna say what they wanna say anyway. So just relax, chill, enjoy. You know, there was too much. Yeah.
Okay. What is your sports nickname? Like what are the elders in the team, coaches and all call
Oh
you?
God. Oh God. Oh God. So they call me Tani, they call me Tan Tan, they call me, yeah, I think Tanya they anyway call, but that's just to show it's like Tan Tan, Tanya, Tani. That's I think
Very
that's
cute.
what it is.
Okay. One movie or book that inspires you?
Okay. I'll tell you I think I need to disclose this. I'm very bad with books. Okay. I cannot complete one book. I'll doze off. That's what in terms of book it is. But movies, I'm a movie like I love movies. Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh wow,
I love
what a
that
movie.
movie.
Nice.
Classic.
Amazing.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Very inspiring. Very inspiring. I think
And
that's
Will
one.
Smith's done a wonderful
Yeah.
job.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right. I think we have one last
All right.
question. Individual lawn bowls or the 4 lawn bowls? Like participating is individual.
Individual, there we go.
And you will see it. And you will see it. Why I said this. Why I said this, you will see in due course of time.
That's
This is my
amazing.
I like how
I love that attitude, Tanya. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I think we are at the end of this conversation. It was such a pleasure and such a honor having you, Tanya.
Yeah.
Great things that you guys do for the country, and we kind of, as a sports podcast, as an Indian sports podcast, we kind of take it up on ourselves to show the audience what we are capable of.
Yeah. I mean, to an audience that is usually exposed to the good side of things, I think the preparation part of it is also very important for them to understand what athletes go through on a day-to-day basis. And I think you took us very well through it. It was really nice talking to you, Tanya.
I'm glad I could do that. Thank you.
Okay.
So there you go, guys. I hope you guys liked our first video podcast. I hope we did justice. I hope we did good, and I really hope you liked the whole interview. We will definitely be coming up with more. But as a start, man, Tanya was such a great guest. She spoke so much with so much passion and so much insight. So there you go, guys. How are you guys
Stay
feeling?
tuned for more.
Stay tuned for more.
And we will have a lot more guests on the show. Make sure you share this episode with all of your friends, all of your family. Sports does not get the same recognition. Cricket is a sport, yes, but let's put that aside for a second. Sports don't get the same kind of recognition that cricket does. So it's about time we start spreading the word. Let's have role models across the sport. Tanya is a great role model to have.
Fantastic.
Share it with the young people in your family as well. I think it is quite an inspiring story.
Yeah.
On that note, we will have more interviews lined up. Stay tuned. Follow us on our Instagram page. Leave a rating on our podcast. Like this episode if it's on YouTube. And see you on the next one.
Later. Bye bye.